Hey class, Brother Ragnar here. So I wanted to give you a little bit of insight on what's coming up next week, mostly because the next 2 weeks after this one, we're going to be working on the video project. And the video project, honestly, is a ton of work, and it usually takes a ton of time, based off of what you're trying to make. And so what I wanted to show you guys today is to start helping you kind of understand the importance of video, especially when it comes to social media, but to give you some examples and some things to think about when you're going to create your content or your video content. And so why video, right? And these are from some surveys or some studies recently, but it's talking about like 1/3 of all online activity is spent watching video. If you think about it, that's a lot of time that we're spending just online watching video. 1/3. Online video streaming will grow to more than 80% of all consumer internet traffic by 2020, according to predictions from tech company Cisco. So 80% of all consumer traffic will be basically video, which is also, I mean, it just goes to show that if it's 1/3 now, it's only going to get bigger as time goes on, and that's only a couple of years away, right? So the importance of video is only going to get bigger, and as you guys, if social media is something, or even online marketing and that kind of stuff, something that you're interested in, having an understanding of video is also going to become more and more important. Facebook boasted 8 billion video views daily as of November 2015, so a few years back, right? And that doubled the amount it had in April of that same year. So this was a few years back, but you can only imagine what it's like. In 2016, Snapchat talked about 10 billion videos were watched on Snapchat every single day. 85% of Facebook videos are watched with the sound off. Now this is important to know because when we share videos natively to these channels, and when I say natively, and hence the project name, Native Video Project, is that we're no longer posting a video to YouTube and then sharing that YouTube across all the different channels. Now we post a video on YouTube, but we also post a video, that same video, on Facebook, and then that same video also goes on Twitter, and so on and throughout, and then they're actually housed internally by that specific platform, rather than just sharing a link that all goes back to YouTube. And so when we share it, we want to have this. Well, we understand that the sound needs to be off, so our visuals need to be exceptional and helps draw to the point that it helps draw someone in. And then the other thing is, what's the importance of subtitles? And subtitles on this project are not going to be required, but they will add value to your video. And so if you wanted to do the video right, and go above and beyond, then adding subtitles is going to help out a ton. Plus, it's going to connect with more of your followers on different channels. Native Facebook videos get more organic reach. That is, they're seen by more users, even without promotion, than any other type of content. A whopping 135% more than photos, according to Social Bakers. If you think about this, it makes a lot of sense. When we post a video natively to Facebook, it no longer requires a click to watch, or to any channel, right? Most of the time, they play automatically as we're scrolling through the feed, and we get caught very easily when it comes to motion, and we want to watch and be entertained, and so on. And so having video is just going to be way more impactful than necessarily photos and images, which is what we're doing for the other projects that we've done, right? And so this is where the video really kind of shows its power and its ability. Research has shown that videos have 10 seconds to grab viewers' attention. After 30 seconds, viewership can drop by 33%. After 10 seconds, you usually either have a large drop-off. That's generally what happens. But then at 30 seconds, we also can see another large drop-off based off of your content. And so knowing how your videos perform throughout and keeping them making the videos good throughout the entire length of the time that an audience is watching it. Man, I can't talk today. that's what we're trying to do, is we're trying to make something engaging all the way from the beginning to the end in order to keep that viewership up. And we talked about this last week, and it's really interesting because this doesn't change at all. There are different kinds of videos out there. There's three main kinds, and it just so happens that these three main kinds of videos, it's going to stick with us. We're going to see the same three kinds of videos as that we see the same three kinds of content. And that is, we're looking for entertaining videos, educational videos, or emotional videos. Now, when we talk about content, we talk about inspirational videos, which honestly really just comes down to being emotional as well. So notice how, though, that all three of these, they don't say anything about commercials. That's because videos on social media should not be a commercial. When you start thinking about your concept of what you want to do for your video, do not, I repeat, do not do a commercial. Now I'm going to show you three commercials here in a second, but they don't feel like commercials because the root of the commercial itself is to be entertaining, educational, or emotional. And that's really our goal, is we're trying to do something that grabs people's attention, that keeps them engaged by either entertaining, educating, or inspiring them to continue to watch or even to share the content. So let's watch three different examples of videos.
And there's your beautiful baby.
Any day now.
Really? You're eating Doritos? He's eating Doritos on my ultrasound. Do you see what I have to do?
I know.
Give me that.
So I love this video. Doritos, they do a fantastic job at most of their commercials. But we asked the question, out of the three categories of three different types of content, which one does this fit into? And I hopefully it's fairly obvious, but it's all about the entertainment, right? And they've done a lot of things in order to kind of set up the story a little bit more. We start off the very beginning. We have the interaction between the mom and the doctor, and then we have this husband or dad or whatever here, and just the way that he's dressed and the fact, you picture him and you're like, yeah, he would totally bring a bag of Doritos with him into this kind of situation and so on. And so they've tried to kind of set the stage, and they've done a lot of visual things in order to add to that story and make it better. And so that's one thing that you guys want to think about as you're working through the project, is how do I make the story the most interesting and add value to that, either being entertaining, educational, or inspirational. Okay, so that's one video. Let's watch another.
You used to call me on my cell phone.
Cut! Whoa, cut!
Perfect. Here are the changes.
I love changes.
When you say call me on my cell phone, just add device eligible for upgrade after 24 months.
Genius. Genius.
I'm so glad. And after going places where you don't belong, add Mexico and Canada are not included.
I've told a lot of people I'm from Canada, but
I lied.
You know what? Also, you need to include that streaming music will incur data charges, so just slip that in there.
Sneak that in there.
fantastic idea.
And you can't say you got exactly what you asked for because we never give them what they ask for.
Unless they ask for hidden fees.
These changes don't ruin the song at all.
Can we come in the box?
Other wireless carriers ruin everything. Switch to T-Mobile, the Un-carrier.
Okay, so T-Mobile, they do some great commercials as well. I really like this one. They have a lot of things going for them on this one. And we see, I'd ask the question, out of the three categories, emotional, educational, or inspirational, entertaining, educational, and inspirational, what would this one fit under? And honestly, you look at it and you're like, okay, it's entertaining, but you could also argue that it's educational, right? You're learning about things. You're learning about the what T-Mobile doesn't do, right? And they're trying to do it in an entertaining way that it teaches you as well. And so that's something to consider as you guys are creating content, is like, how can I make things not just fit one of the categories, but fit as many of those three categories as I possibly can, because generally that makes it for better kind of content. It's also really interesting as we go through this, right, and we look at some of the stuff that they've done. You know, they're using a yellow background, and what do we typically associate when it comes to the yellow background is we think of Sprint, right? Whereas then all of a sudden they switch it to pink, which is T-Mobile's main color, and so you know. It's kind of they're trying to poke fun at Sprint without really, you know, going there, but at the same time they're using visuals to kind of help augment that message, to kind of make you subliminally, you know, think about that kind of stuff. Anyway, so that's one example of an educational kind of form. And now next week I'm going to show you even more examples, but I wanted to show you one where it's a bit on the educational side, but also incorporates entertainment, because I want you to think on that. How can I incorporate entertaining, educational, or inspirational types of content? Let's watch one more.
It was my choice. And now I will question myself for the next few weeks, maybe months.
We had an option of 2 pathways to walk, and they led to 2 doorways. It was a bit confronting, actually, to be honest, to see these big signs and feeling like you had to choose and be self-conscious of how you perceive yourself and perhaps if it lines up with how the rest of the world perceives you.
I went through the average door.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I didn't even hesitate.
漂亮对我的概念来说，就是像明星那种遥不可及的那种。我走的是一般。
Mas eu acho que é mais porque eu me arrependi da escolha, porque era diferente do que eu vivo, é diferente do que eu sou.
Am I choosing because of what's constantly bombarded at me, what I'm being told that I should accept, or am I choosing because that's what I really believe?
I walked into that door which said average, and I didn't feel really good after that, because obviously I had rated myself average and nobody else.
Todos os dias eu passo pela porta comum e ontem foi um dia único e eu optei por passar pelo bonita.
I wanted to go through the average door, but my mum just pulled me over to the beautiful door.
It was quite a triumphant feeling. It was like telling the world, I think I'm beautiful.
I just wish more young women realized it.
要是再给我一次机会走那扇门的话，我觉得我应该会选很美的扇门。
I think I would walk through the beautiful door.
Acho que a porta bonita tá completamente aberta para mim.
Maybe I could walk in that door.
You can.
Next time I look into the mirror, I will see somebody really beautiful looking back at me.
Beautiful is a great word. So why not see what's on the other side of that?
So obviously, out of the last one, I wanted to show you one of each types. That Dove commercial, and you've probably seen that before, maybe you haven't. But it's definitely pulls on the emotional side of things. And it pulls on based off their audience, right? Dove's audience, it definitely connects with them a bit more, and that's something that you really need to think of and kind of figure out is like how do I connect with my audience, and how can I be inspirational or emotional? How can I be educational or entertaining? And each three of these are commercials. Next week, I'm going to share with you some that are not commercials, and probably a couple more that are commercials as well. But some social videos that are out there that really are that fit also within this category. But I want, as you're starting to finish up this last project, I want you to start thinking a little bit more about your video project and what route that you're going to do in order to make something entertaining, educational, or emotional, or / inspirational, right? And so I hope you guys think on that a little bit more and kind of start brainstorming in order to make it not feel like a commercial. Now these felt, Doritos was probably a little bit more on the commercial side out of all of them, but they didn't feel overly like a commercial, especially this last one with Dove, right? At the very end of it, we felt inspired, and we felt inspired that Dove brought us this message and that kind of thing, but it wasn't like a way to push their product. It wasn't a way to get you to buy things. And that's what I want you guys to focus on, is how can I create a video that people will want to share and engage with. So good luck with the end of this project this week, and let me know if you guys have any questions.